All right. Good evening, everybody. This is Mark McFadden with Onyx Equities Group. We are going to present another meeting. Tonight, we have our guest speaker, Christian Sullivan from Straight Path Capital Ventures out of New York. He's going to come to us to bring us some updates on current positions that we are in and also on new deals on the horizon. Chris, you can take it away.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. So I'll just start here with some updates on the positions that we have, and then we'll finish off talking about the last position, which is the Triller, which is actually nearing a liquidation event here, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. But we'll start off here with Impossible Foods first. As we know, they're definitely dominating their entire market in their respected sector. They released a slew of new products throughout the year. They're now found in more than 30,000 grocery stores, 50,000 restaurants across the United States. So there's no question about, what they're doing in terms of the plant-based market and how they're kind of dominating that food tech sector, as well as expanding into 6 different countries throughout 2021, which is huge. Now, back in November, they announced that the CEO came out and said that going public at this point is absolutely inevitable. He wants investors to go out there that support the product and now be able to go out and invest in them as a public company. So we're definitely anticipating them to have their public debut finally in 2022 at well over a $10 billion valuation. Could be significantly higher when they start trading. But I think they'll be going public rather sooner than later this year. So within the next, quarter or two, as the market kind of calms down and the climate gets a little bit better. Next, we have the Eat Just, which has been expanding internationally as well. Operations in China and Canada. And right around Christmas, they received a regulatory approval there in Singapore to sell their cultivated chicken, which was a major milestone for the company. The CEO also in the beginning of 2021, he said that they will be reaching profitability towards the end of 2021, which was their last step before them going public as well. We're anticipating them to go public somewhere between a $3.5 billion valuation, which could put $50, $60 a share, upwards north of that. And they are a candidate for possibly a SPAC in the route that they go public at, which is one of those special purpose acquisition companies. Moving along, we have Kraken, which they couldn't be doing any bit better. As we know that the crypto market is just as crazy as the public market right now. But more importantly with Kraken and these crypto exchanges is that they make money on the buys and the sells. So whether we're in a bullish crypto market or more of a bear crypto market, these exchanges are benefiting it from, the revenues on the buys, sells, and all the transactions that take place. We're anticipating Kraken to be an absolute beast of an IPO once they do get out there. We could see them trading at a 40, 50, $60 billion valuation, which could put their stock upwards of $320 to $380 a share. They'll be most likely a traditional IPO after some comments of the CEO. He watched Coinbase go public through the direct listing, and he said he was able to learn a lot about the company in terms of them going public through a direct listing. And what is good about them being the second crypto exchange to go public is they're able to kind of do everything that Coinbase did well through their IPO and, do that. And then everything that they didn't do so well on, kind of fix those errors and hopefully have a more successful IPO. So I think the traditional route, and we think the traditional route is more likely opposed to the direct listing. We also have Rubric here, which they are a buyout candidate, possibly, or an acquisition. There's been some acquisition rumors regarding the Rubric. They rolled out on Microsoft Azure, which is one of Microsoft's biggest platforms there. And Rubric is protecting, one of Microsoft's most valuable divisions there. And right now that cyber security sector is something that's very important, especially in the US. So Rubric is definitely a company that is capturing a lot of attention from a lot of the bigger companies, the Microsofts, the Amazon, all the big companies. And there's definitely been some rumors going around that there is a possible buyout on the table, which buyouts don't have a birthday. At any given moment, we could hear an announcement about an acquisition there. And this year, I think we're anticipating a busy year in terms of mergers and acquisitions as a whole, with across a very amount of sectors because of how much cash a lot of these companies have on hand. So I think this year will be a very busy year with mergers and acquisitions opposed to IPOs like we saw in 2021, 2020. So we'll see a lot of the companies, possibly have buyouts on the table opposed to just going public through their traditional IPOs. Finishing up, we have Triller, which is our closest to the liquidation event. They had signed right before Christmas a reverse merger with Sea Change International. They actually filed their draft S4 today, which is the proxy vote for Sea Change holders to go ahead and vote and approve the merger. So as soon as that gets approved, which will be happening in the next couple of weeks, as long as that gets approved, the merger happens almost immediately after. So we'll know the exact date. It's set for the end of this quarter or possibly first thing in the next quarter. But the deal values Triller at over $5 billion, which puts the stock upwards of the high 40s there, and that's really nice because we own that stock here at $13.50. For those of y'all that got involved. So, is there any questions with any of the companies that we were able to, speak on today so far?
Okay, Chris. Yeah, I appreciate the updates. I was trying to capture that in the chat just so people can try to reference that. So again, on the actual type of Triller, that's the closest to liquidation. We own it at $13.50, and it talks about it being valued over $5 billion.
Yeah. Okay. So the value deal with Sea Change puts it at about 5.1 billion. On that reverse merger, which is nice where we at.
Okay, great. Anything new coming up, or anything new that you can present to the group?
Yeah. So the newest issue that we have right now, it's fairly new. So I'm not 100% educated on it, if you will. We just got it in here, but I've learned a lot about it over the last couple of weeks. It's a company called The Zebra, which is an insurance tech company. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of it or seen it online. So it pretty much what The Zebra does is they compare insurance from over 200 insurance companies, the Geicos, the Allstates, State Farm, so on and so forth. And customers are able to go on their platform and search through those quotes without providing all the information. So pretty much what Expedia does for hotels and airlines, Zebra does for insurance. Now they're backed by Mark Cuban. He's one of their biggest investors. This was actually said to be his biggest investment into a startup company. So the same CEO and founders and kind of executives that were behind Kayak, which is the travel search engine there, is the same exact team that went ahead and founded Zebra after they led Kayak to a buyout back in 2013. So they started working on Zebra. It's a company that's kind of dominating the market. They actually partnered up with Lemonade, so they're not a competitor with Lemonade. They're partnered up with Lemonade. helping that platform, which Lemonade had a very, very good IPO back in the year, back in the last couple of years. And the insurtech industry is something that we're going to see grow very rapidly over the next couple of years, where ultimately this is probably an industry that will completely take insurance brokers, off the map, just like Expedia took travel agents off the map years ago. So we have that stock right now at $22 a share, which is about a $2 billion valuation. And from what we have heard, we can anticipate possibly a $5.5 billion SPAC either later in the year or in the year that follows with the Zebra.
Okay, yeah, I personally have heard of, like Zebra. I've seen the actual type of commercials. I think, as you said, insurance tech is fast coming, just like, kind of like the fintech companies are doing a lot of things past couple of years. I think insurance tech is not too far behind. So that'd be something interesting. So you currently have it at $22 a share, you said?
Yes.
Okay. If you could send me your normal type of marketing material on like the company and some background, that way I can get it out to the folks here. How long are you taking subscriptions?
It's fairly new here, so I think we have a little bit to work with it. We have a decent block of it, so I think within the next couple of weeks, we'll have it here.
Okay.
Probably the next 2 to 3 weeks at this point.
And then we actually probably need to talk to kind of shore up kind of the actual type of brokerage account and everything once we have like a liquidation event, how that process works as well. Want to have another talk around that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, good. Folks on the call, any questions? I try to put some notes in like the chat group for those that came in late. Call is being recorded as well. It'll be up on like the YouTube page for everyone to go back and review. But you can take a look at the chat group and see some of the highlights that were actually discussed by Chris. Any questions? All
Mark,
right.
This is Frank Simpson, Mark. I have a question.
Oh, hey, Frank. Okay.
Can you speak to Zebra's sales numbers and revenue numbers?
Yeah. So last year, Zebra did around 79 million in revenues, and this year they're set to top over 130 million, which seems low on the revenue side right now, but the company is valued off the future expectations. So that entire market, that insurtech market, has a pretty high CAGR for the next 7 or 8 years or so. So a lot of these companies, when they do trade publicly, they'll probably be trading, off of a 30x, 35x multiple once they do get out there. So for the last couple of years, Zebra has been able to prove that they've been doubling or more than doubling their revenues consecutively and aren't really showing any signs of slowing down there.
Gotcha. Follow-up question. That'll put Zebra's earnings per share around where?
We won't know that just yet because a lot of private companies don't have to disclose that. So we wouldn't know the earnings per share until after they're filed and become a public company.
Gotcha. And last question, you said once it goes public, it'll be about a 30 times multiple. Are you judging that based on speculation, or are you judging that based on previous companies with a similar profile as Zebra?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So that's pretty much when you look at the sector, when you look at similar companies, what they've traded at, and then a little speculation given the growth rates of Zebra and really where they're heading and where they're anticipated to head over the next couple of years. So it's a little bit of both there on terms of the multiples.
Gotcha. Thank you for that, Christian. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Frank.
Good questions, Frank, and thanks for the answers, Christian. Anybody else have anything to bring to the table? All right, so we got an update, just to recap, we got an update on Triller, Impossible Foods, Just Eat, Kraken, Rubric, and the new deal with Zebra Insurance. Christian is going to send me out a slide deck and some information. I'll be certain to send that out to everyone, and I'll post it on the portal. We'll kind of make a new folder up on the portal site, and we will post those documents there. We'll probably try to take a poll to see who is interested, after allowing folks some time to digest the information, seeing who is interested and possibly investing in moving forward. Just a quick note, those that were in the 23andMe deal received an email with the allotted shares that we received on that deal. We'll be holding another meeting to go over next steps in relations to 23andMe. So stay tuned. If there's no other questions, we're going to close down the meeting. And I thank everyone for actually coming on the call. Christian, thanks for actually coming on the call as well.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone.